right? I see a young kids, right? Few of them, right? They have been wandering around, right? Some are mowing the lawn at the same time, right? Some are like cleaning up the garbage. Well-off families completely get it, but why are they doing it? Because they are learning something, right? Learning to adapt into the life that they will be having in future at the same time, right? And they are learning how to manage your money. So that same money that they're gonna go and invest on something, right? So they are multiplying that, right? Rather than going into Klarma and
Yeah, borrowing
taking the
money. Yeah,
concert tickets and all.
that's a really good point that you put there, because yeah, like you said, good family, but they're still doing the basic
Yeah,
stuff. That hustle mentality, right? You go out there, but you're learning something, because when
exactly.
you work hard and earn that money, you value the hard-earned money so much to a point you will automatically want to decide or learn before you actually invest that money, as opposed to money that's just given to you, right?
XYZ stock, right? Let's say Nike, right? So I need that money. Like I know it's gonna go up, and I want to put down those money, right? So their thinking is fast growth. That's how they are thinking, because they made the money already um, in the stock market, and they want to put more money on it, right? So good decision, but what? How do you know that it's going to go up? It might go down as well, and you are putting the money that is sitting there, and you want to put it back onto the stock again. So what have you gained? What have you read, or have you read anything, right? Like, why do you think this stock is going to go up, right? And you're putting in for a long term. Completely get it, but where is your study, right? So they don't get it, right? They think that money is simple. But if I want to talk with the Gen Zs, what I'm going to do is, okay, yeah, you can get the money, but how about let's learn it, right? And how about instead of that $10,000, how about we start with $1,500 or $1,000 and grow that money to 10,000? That's going to happen, and you know that happened as well, because look, your portfolio grew up.
Welcome to News, Nonsense, and more. News, nonsense, and more.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of News, Nonsense, and More. My name is Shashant, aka Sean, aka Sushi, whatever you like to call me. Our podcast is all about bringing in people from the community, people to talk about what they're doing, their stories, things that can help the community, so on and so forth. So, I have two great people here today. They reached out to me. They wanted to talk about finance, investments, trading. Just giving you guys a heads up, this episode is no way informed, trying to push out any products and services in the financial market, because we don't have the licensing to do that. But I think it's a great way to kind of talk about that topic. And I have two great gentlemen here with me today, Ayan and Avijit. So they are both traders. And I think we should learn a little bit about what finance is like, what financial literacy is like. I myself dwelled into that a little bit back in 2008. That was a totally different time. But as I've seen the financial, structure of this company or the stock market ever change with, technology getting better and, apps coming out where you can trade at on your phone. You can literally download an app, start trading, right? Wasn't like that back in the day. But before I get into it myself, I would like to introduce Ayan and Avijit. So who'd like to go first to introduce themselves?
Avi?
Yeah, sure. My name is Avijit. I'm a software developer as well as a full-time trader. I've been trading for almost 10 years now. Started since 2015.
Okay. 10 years.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit more about how you got into it.
So I started when I was at work at first. I started earning a little bit, then started as a gamble.
Oh, sorry, that's gamble.
It was
Best way to put it,
yeah.
right?
I mean, I did not know what to do with the money that I was earning, right? And I was introduced into Robinhood. That's how I started trading. It was gambling, adrenaline rush at the first.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Ayan Bastola, software engineer with a full-time trading and the owner of IYMP as well.
Yeah.
So, started off in trading back in I think 2019-ish. So, started from a penny stocks, I would say, recommendations from him,
Okay.
and started learning how it works, things like that. Still learning as well. It never changed,
Yeah.
right? Learning never changed. So a lot of things that I did, gambled a lot, uh, lost a lot of money, I
Yeah.
would say.
Okay.
Then uh, leaned more on to how it could impact and what changed after that, right? Basically, there are multiple side in the trading industries as well, right? That most of the people don't know about it, right? So those are the aspects that we learn. Him, me, right? We both focused on the same thing and lean more onto educative perspective. And since then, we have been doing good.
Okay, that's good. I mean, it takes a lot to also admit that losing money is not something that nobody likes to talk about, right? Nobody likes to talk about calling it gambling when you first started, because the first thing you do when you make a little bit of money, everybody thinks they're like this amazing stockbroker, stock trader, right? Day trader aspect. If I had $1 for every time I met someone in the past, I don't know, 5-6 years that says, "Oh, you have to do this, you have to trade this," I'm like, okay. Like if I got $1 for each person told me that, I'd probably make a lot of money, you know. But it's changed definitely. Like the way how I used to look at the stock market or used to invest back in the day. At first, me personally, I dualed my 401k and I looked at what product and services my company when I started AT&T started, like what they offered, what I could pick and choose, because they gave you that option. I think they gave me Fidelity. Fidelity was the company that I used to do all that stuff, and it was a really good learning point. But I quickly realized myself that this day trading thing is like the quick money thing is not my route. That is not my personality. I'm more of a long game kind of guy, like, okay, I'll put it there. I'm going to go for the more, I'll grow eventually, like 10, 15 years, 20 years. I'm going to look at that model and hopefully things turn out the way it should. Right. But that's how I quickly realized, because I also dwelled into penny stocks. Yeah. I think I would lose all my hair. That's, I'll tell you that for sure, because those things can come and go. It can make you really rich. It can make you really rich if you get it right.
Yep.
Right. But then if you invest a lot of money and nothing happens, you just say tada goodbye, right? But before we delve into that, what is both of yours mission here today? So if you are going to give a message out to our community, people watching this episode, what would be your primary motive and message for everybody listening? So that way they kind of understand what they're getting themselves into.
I would say I want to talk more about trading mindset, like how trading works and how your normal brain outside trading versus your trading brain works, and how you can control your emotions, manage your emotions to become successful in trading and have a freedom life.
Like a good wealth generation.
Yep.
Okay.
Mine would be something different because it all comes down to the same thing, what Avi said as well, right? So I would pick up one point from what you said, right? Like, oh, I was working over here and I was doing the day trading at the same time, right? So there are certain models that in trading as well, right? That you need to educate yourself onto,
Exactly.
right? Most of the people you're coming 8 to 5, right? You're working on a good job, right? And all of a sudden, you have good amount of money and okay, I want to invest on something, right? And there is one or two people that friend circles and all that they are trading at the same time as well, right? So you lean onto their side of the stories and what they do and how much they are making and things like that, and all of a sudden you get involved into day trading. At the same time, you are working, managing your meetings, right?
Yeah.
And doing all kind of stuff in your job 9 to 5 and doing a day trading, right? So you have to look into the chart every single time, right? So there are different kind of models that are situated in trading that most of the people don't know about it, right? And they tend to lean on and do something that it's outside of their zone, right? So those time definitely you're gonna lose your money, right? So picking up your poison, I would rather put it that way, right? Like go into swing or something, right? If you have some time, right? Okay, 9 to 5 done. Okay, you already have the work is done. Go for the futures, fine, right? So many mindsets
So
are
so
there,
many
right?
different. So there's so many different like technique or strategies or
Exactly.
ways to go about doing the trading aspect. You don't have to be a day trader in order to feel like you're doing something. Because if let's say if the stock market crashes during your meeting, you kind of like lose out on it, right? And but I like how you said when you say like, oh, when you have this money, you lean on to other people who might do trading, and I usually call that retail news. That's what I call it, because you have to also take into aspect of where is he getting the information from, right? Is he getting it when it's
Raw.
when it's raw? Is he getting it towards the end of it? Is he getting it towards the middle of it, right? So there's a lot of different things that go into play, especially when you're like a smaller guy, right? Because the big guys are the ones that kind of control everything, right? Just today, like yes, the Federal Reserve got subpoenaed. It tanked the market for a little bit, and then once they heard like what type of like subpoena it was, they're like, okay, this is not going to stick, and it went right away back up, right? They got that little dip, and then it jumped back up, and it's like for me, which I want to get into it from, and we've talked about this in our phone call, like how it was back in the early 2000s to what it is right now. How a single like news at what could happen can fluctuate the market so much now than it did back in the day. Because back in the day, we were like looking at earnings per share, quarterly earning reports, what's going on, did they meet it, did they actually launch their product, right? How's their product like selling, so those are the type of things that I used to look at, right? But now I feel like everything's changed. And you guys, since you guys are saying 2015, 2019, or the timeline that you guys have told me, I'll be honest, it's like 5-6 years after like when I was doing it, and I left it pretty soon because I went into like more like long term, right? Because when you go long term, it's like your growth, you're not going to get rich overnight, but you're kind of growing a decent amount of wealth. Not like millions of dollars, but maybe it can go up to hundreds of $1,000s if everything goes right. And I went in at a really, really good time for myself, because 2008 was when the financial crisis happened. That's when the Dow Jones was like around like 6,500, something like that, right? And I remember at that point in time when I was working, I was putting like 25-30% of my money into my 401k because I knew it's not going to stay at 6,000. This is the bottom of the bottom, right? This thing's going to go up. It'll go up to 20,000. And for me, I looked at it two ways. I was like, I was a single guy. I did my funds. Like I said, okay, I need this much money after taxes. It's fine. I can survive. I was, I was living with my parents. So no rent, no mortgage and stuff like that. Right. And I was like, I'll put majority of my money. I'm not paying, my tax bracket is reduced because whatever money I'm getting at the end of the year, I'm lowering that tax bracket. So I'm paying less taxes and I'm putting all the money before tax into my 401k. And plus the company was also matching 6%. Right. And then they're also giving this pension and so on. So it just gets added on to that. And that really helped me. That really helped me in the long run to, invest in so many different other things. But it's very different now, right?
Yeah, but that's very smart because you said that it was 30% of your salary, and you did not have to worry about those money if it has gone down to 3,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it could have not been the bottom. It could have been $3,000, but then you would have been fine.
Yeah.
And that's the mental peace you need in trading or investing. Because let's say you invested 30% of your salary and it hit $3,000. Now you need to put it out of the 401k account. Then it's a loss.
Yeah.
If you do not put it out of your account, it's just a drawdown and it's gonna eventually go up.
Yeah. That's a long term game, right? You kind of have to weather the storm,
right?
I mean, basically, how it matters is like people lean on to a long-term investments because like that's basically it's the mindset itself, right?
Yeah.
So yours was never a mindset onto, hey, I'm gonna do good in trading, right? I'm just gonna do my job, right? At the same time, that 30%, I'm gonna put it somewhere
Yeah.
that's gonna give me a benefits, right? So how we talk about this all the time as well, right? So uh, your your money or it's like a plant, right? So you give a water, it grows, right?
Yeah.
So the factor of compounding always plays a huge part, right? That 30%, how it climbed up, right? It climbed up 45. It's like a stairs, right? So uh, people lean on to that. At the same time, when you are doing a retail tradings, for example, right? You invested on the long term. Some people they like the kick and they lean on to day trading and swing trading at the same time, right? But they don't realize at the same time that hey, what's my goal into putting my portfolio up, right? What they want is you start from 25K, let's say for example, or 5K, right? They want that to turn into $100,000 in a matter of seconds, right? That's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
That's not gonna happen because it might, right? Like how the market is volatile and everything, right? It's gonna go up to 100,000, but at the same time, the next day you're gonna do the same trading. That 100,000 is gone.
Yep.
Literally gone. So basically, everything comes down to mindset. How your mindset is, right? So you're doing the job at the same time trading, but you don't know what to put. You blow up your entire account, and we have seen that in the past as well, right?
Yeah.
We been there, done that, basically, right? So whenever we are trying to educate people, whenever we are talking to someone, be it a friend or like someone who needs some help, right? In guidance. What we tell them is, don't look at your drawdown. What you look at is your portfolio. Is that maintained? Not your gain or losses, right? You need to protect your portfolio. You need to protect your portfolio so that the next day your trading can improve, right?
So before you go into that, right? I'm sure there's a lot of people who don't even understand what a portfolio is. They might just think of it as like my checking account or like my savings account or just an account, right? So if you had to dumb it down for, let's say, people like, because we're utilizing financial terms, right? So, I mean, in a way, because I want people to also learn about this. I think what you guys are doing is you guys are like educating people in a good way, in a more of awareness way. You know, I mean, you're bringing them awareness, and then we'll get into the mindset and everything. So, just for the portfolio aspect, like just dumb it down for them a little bit.
Portfolio is basically, on the simple layman term, it's basically the money that you are trying to invest. That's it, right? So it's just a layman term on how much you are planning on investing in investing for a growth, right? Basically, that is called portfolio, and based on that portfolio, there are multiple rules, right? Like I really like the rules that he plays out most of the time, and I do the same thing as well, right? So whenever we are going into a trading, we don't go and put in, like, if I have a 5K account, right? I'm not gonna go and blow it right now, and I'm gonna trim it down to where it matters the most. Like, okay, am I losing that $600, right? Or $300, that matters to me because that is a drawdown, but still I have that $4,700 left for tomorrow, right? That is most of the thing that people don't follow, right? So trimming fund management, basically, right? So that matters a lot rather than a gain or loss, because in the end, right, if you manage or maintain your portfolios today, tomorrow it's gonna give you a return for sure.
So it's so what you're basically saying is, everybody has a budget: 5K, 10K, 20K, 30K. You don't put all of that out there.
Not all of that.
You pick and choose your battles on a daily basis. That's what it means, and that is, I guess, the most responsible way to look at it. And I'm kind of intrigued, but your model? Because he says he was following yours. So where did you come up with that?
So
Or what's the story behind it, I guess?
So going back to 2015 when I started, I started as a gambler. I blew multiple account, right? I started from Robinhood. I changed platform. I changed penny stock to stocks trading, and I was introduced to options. I did not know what options was. I just started trading because I was deep down on loss, and I wanted to somehow
Take your money back.
take that money back, and I lost more. And then I realized I need to do something. If I do not change myself, my result will not change. I started looking for mentors. I found like a couple of mentors for my personal development, for my trading strategies, and that's how I learned from them.
Okay.
I'm grateful for my mentors.
Oh, nice. I mean, that's something that not many people even like want to admit.
Yep.
You know, everybody likes to take the sole credit, right? I think that in its sense is very, very smart, because trading is not about making the right decision at the right time. Anybody can make a certain decision, can make the money. But it's, again, it goes down to working on yourself and understanding how to manage certain portfolio and or making the decision making skills also, or critical thinking, right?
Right.
Those things matter. So when did you feel like you started changing and you started learning? Like, when did you personally? Because I feel like you have a more like he has a crazy story. It seems like, you know, because you just started out 2015, lost a lot of money. I'm trying everything: options trading, futures trading, crypto, whatever it is. I want my money back, right? So you are chasing what you had lost.
Yep.
Pretty much. When did you actually change that mindset of yours? And what did you do that kind of like made you realize what you need to work yourself on after the mentorship that you got? And what did you start implementing that helped you kind of get, I guess, back the money that you've lost? Was that's why you're here?
Yep.
Else you wouldn't
Yep.
be here, right? So I'm presuming you got the money and then you've made some, right? So where did that shift occur in your life?
I could not point you the exact point in time when did this shift happen, but when I was looking for my mentors, I think something inside me wanted a change. I was ready for a change, right? And these mentors taught me taught me how to analyze my emotions. What was I doing wrong? I wanted to win, but then I was not doing things that will win me the trading, right? I was doing the losers thing, and then I was expecting to win. They showed me mirror. I had anger issue, I had greed, I had fear, right? Those kind of things. And for me personally, every person is different. For me personally, I was trading reversal trades mostly. Like if a stock is going up, and if it's going too up, I would usually trade reverse trade, and that works fine for so many people. But my personality was different, and one of the mentor pointed out me into that direction. You are not a reversal trader, you are a momentum trader. And that's when I learned that, oh, okay, I mean, I could be certain kind of trader rather than being like chasing the moment, or like trying to reverse trade the trend. I chose one path. I tried momentum trading, and that, I think, is the key for me. And then I started reading a lot of books.
Educating yourself.
Yep.
And that's interesting, because there are different kind of traders.
Yep.
There's also, like, you know, I don't know if the Big Short, like those type of traders are there too. They shorted the entire like market at that point in time. I mean, billions and billions of dollars, right? I forgot who the guy is.
Michael Burry.
Yeah, that guy, right?
Yeah.
He's the one that like predicted it from the very beginning, right? Christopher, who's the actor that played him? Goddamn, the Batman guy, Christian Bale. Christian Bale,
Yeah.
amazing actor. But it's crazy, right? Like how he stuck to his gun, and you kind of like you went on your own journey, and you kind of found a lot of things about yourself personally, and then you realize what kind of trader you are. I mean, I think that's. Yeah, I think not everybody is going to be, you know, the same trader. Everybody's got their own style, their own uniqueness to like discover stuff. And I, you know, that's interesting you put that out there, because I normally don't hear a lot of people say that side of being a trader. You know, everybody always wants to say like, "Oh man, I made this awesome trade." Oh, did you do that? Oh, you didn't do this? I saw this, and they try to like blow it out of proportion as if they're this master like traders. They've seen the sign from Jesus itself, or like God came down and gave them that sign, right? But ultimately, it's just honing your skills. You've identified what you're good at, and then you just kind of follow that, right?
I want to add one more point though. I forgot. I became the best loser.
Yeah,
Losers are the best winners in trading.
that's
You
true.
have to accept your loss, and then you can.
You can
win.
move on. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, revenge trading always fires back. Revenge trading,
You call it revenge trading? Nice.
like you lose the money, right? And what you're gonna do, you're gonna go back to the market again, and I'm gonna take it back from the market. Market is gonna give you an again, yeah. Yeah, that's not gonna happen, right? And we see that, right? Like it's we are human, right? Our emotions always like these greeds, right? The uh, revenge, right? Ego, right? It's always there, regardless how much you try to minimize it, right? One way or the other, it always comes down, right? Like it will point you somewhere, right? And it will you will pick on it, right? So most of the traders, like we have seen the news last time as well, when the crypto went like way down, and
Yeah.
lost a lot of lives, right?
Yeah.
So there is a hype that market is going to give you, right? People who follow trends, we call it like the news, a trend,
Retail news. Yeah.
retail news, right? So that time you go based on the news, and all of a sudden the market is reacting something different, and what you do, you lose, right? So, and the revenge trading is basically the same thing. I have done it as well. It's not like we have not done it, right? Multiple times. What it did, I lost it again, right? But like coming back into my own strategies, right? If I clear off my head, no emotions, nothing, right? You focus on what you have studied and focus on the strategies that you have maintained, right? And be consistent onto what you do. Do it whatever you do, right? Like you make your own strategies, but at least be consistent onto it, right? And this is one of the thing that I have learned it, and it's not from the like reading books or anything like that, right? I got it safe actually, right? He was there to go and chase down the mentors and everything, right? And all he did was pass on to me, right? And I got lucky basically, right? So based on those aspects, whenever I'm trying to go against the market and do it, I always lose. But if I go back into my strategy, being consistent onto what I am doing, what I did in the past, and what I did right now, I always win back. So being consistent, right? So that matters a lot. So you don't go and chase down to the market and say, "Hey, I'm gonna slap you today," because it's gonna slap you back.
The market is it's too big. You're not making a dent on it. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, but the one good thing is like both of you kind of had that, exchange in knowledge, especially from you to him, right? I think that's because once you have that type of knowledge, it kind of like you can then look at ways to kind of upgrade it as well, right? Okay, you did these certain things. Maybe if we do these things, it can even get better and better, right? And why? So, what do you think a lot of people lack? Like, if you feel like if they want to become traders, or if they want to get into the stock market, or if they want to get into investments, or the S&P 500, like, what do you think is the major thing that people lack? Like, if you had to like educate like the masses, because you've gone through it, right? So you've had the experience of losing, right? You've had the experience of having to work on yourself first, and then go back to into the trading, right? You've had the opportunity to gain the knowledge and then realize like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. I should be focusing on this and be consistent in what I do. What do you think most people lack?
For me, it's for me personally, it's the trend, right? So that's what I learned as well, right? because that's where I lost a lot, to be honest with you, right? Like I lost a lot chasing the trend. Trend is news. So don't follow the news because it's going to slap you back, right? So news is the people do. Like we get that a lot as well. And every time we talk about something nowadays, everything is on Instagram, right? And you see a lot of Tom, Dick, and Harrys are like on trading, right?
Yeah.
So all they say, oh, did you know what happened to Nvidia? They did this, and tomorrow's the market is gonna boom up. No, it's not. Right? There are other things that shift the market, right? It's just the data, basically, right? Follow the data that you have, right? So the biggest mistake most of the people make is trend for me, and also putting a lot of money into trend. That basically.
So if you're gonna get into it, don't jump into it with a lot of money.
Yeah.
Jump in with something.
One person says something and you come back, right? And you do the same exact thing. You copy or mirror the trading pattern that somebody else followed. He's gonna be doomed, and you're gonna be doomed at the same time. So don't do it.
Exactly.
I agree on everything what he says. Another thing I would like to say is people fail to plan, and if they fail to plan, they plan to fail. Because at any point of life, you have to plan. I mean, if you're not planning, that's a plan to fail, right? I mean, humans are emotional beings. You cannot you cannot control your. I mean, you cannot skip your emotions. It's from within, right? But what you can do is manage your emotions. Our brains are designed for like hunter-gatherers, right? Our brains are very old brains, right? It has survival skills. It's not made for trading skills. And trading is a different animal. Like you may be successful in business, and you might want to bring the same concept and use it in trading. That might not work because outside trading, you work hard, you do certain things, you might win. And you might want to bring that formula to trading. It's not going to work because you don't have to work hard in trading. Winning is easy in trading. What's hard is being consistently winner. That's hard. And I think that is the part what most of people miss, and that's why they lose.
And I think, like, just to add to both your points, I think people also, like, their ego kind of kicks into play. Like, you win a few trades and you automatically think that, oh, this is easy, I can get it done. And then they don't really, like, foresee, you know, the things that can happen, because markets can always have a boom and it keeps going up, right? I think from, what was it, from 2023, after the dip in 2022, it just kept going up and up and up and up and up, right? And it's still going up. And people think that, oh, wow, you know, I'm whatever I'm doing, it's clicking. Whatever I'm doing, it's clicking. But then you had a separate group of people from 2019 to 2021 who were like, damn, I'm a great trader. And then the 2022 dip happened. And now those people that I talk to, and I don't want to trade anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. You know what I mean? It's a cycle of people that I see consistently. Like, even when crypto, I remember, was it in 2016, 17, when crypto, like when the Bitcoin boomed, it went to like 20,000 at that point in time. And I remember specifically, there was a guy from Nepal, actually. I was working at Bank of America, comes in and he's like, oh, and this is when Bitcoin had already reached 20,000, right? Wow. And then it dropped. I remember it dropped down to like 11,000 or maybe 8,000, 9,000. I forget. The following year, and he put in $50,000 when it was $20,000. And then he's like, "What am I gonna do here?" He pulled it out, and I was telling him, "Don't pull it out, man. There's a possibility you can go back up again. You just have to be patient." And then his whole entire mindset was like, "I lost my money. This money is gone. At least before it all goes, at least like the little like $4,000 or $5,000 I have, I'll take it back." Right? The concept of like, listen, it's gone down. You can pull it back up if you have money, and it goes to your point, right? You have to manage your portfolio. He put all $50,000. Imagine he had done 10,000. It dropped a little bit. It puts another 10,000. drops a little bit more, puts another 10,000, right? Gets to its bottom, then he puts like another 10,000. Ultimately, what happens if it goes up to 50, 60,000, you cumulatively like break your losses at that point in time. You actually end up making more money, right? So that type of concept is not something that the normal human being who's trying to go into trading understands, right? Because it requires a humongous amount of patience and the ability. The word I'm looking for is risk management. How much risk are you willing to take, right? Like you said, if you're putting your portfolio, that's the money you're gambling with. Like you call it gambling, right? I call the stock market educated gambling. That's what I've always seen it that way. That's how it is. It's just that it is not like gambling because at least you can predict an outcome, right? In the stock market, but not in games and football. Because that's just gambling, right? Overall. But at least over here, there's different strategies and formulas or techniques where you can go, as long as you are doing your due diligence too. Like, okay, where's the company headed? You want to do that technique that I said if you know a company is going to go bankrupt, because you know that company will not have any way to come back up. So that's like a loss, right? But if you know a company made a couple of bad decisions and they're like, okay, we can work on something else and they're going to bounce back, they're a big company, then you can utilize that strategy as well. And there's so many different strategies out there right now, I feel like, but yeah, that's one thing I see people. That's a clear example that I've seen. Is there anything else that you guys have come across? Like, I guess like people like who have lost money, like what are the mistakes that they do? Like when they get into it, one was you said like they just put all their money in one, right? So, I mean, what are the other like examples that you've seen people do that you think that they shouldn't be doing? Advice that you can give them?
I would say levels, right? Like map your levels out. But like for a long-term traders, right? It's basically manage your capital properly. Like you said, right? He could have done it 10, then put 10, right? By the dip, basically. So
all of these mistakes, I think, comes from fear. Like the one you said is a fear of missing out, right? FOMO.
Yeah.
People don't want to be left out. And I do have a perfect example for this scenario. I have a friend, I do not want to take his name, but Tesla, I think it was back in 2018, 19, I forgot exact year. It was ripping higher every day, 10%, 20%, 30%. And he made fortune. Like he made like 600K within like 3-4 months.
Damn.
And his confidence was like super high, right? And he was fairly a new trader, amateur trader. He did not take any of this money out. Like one of the rules that I like to follow is you pay yourself. As you earn, you pay yourself. Otherwise, since it's a certain wealth, your brain cannot handle it, and you will end up giving all of it to the market.
When you say like wealth or like pay yourself,
Take something out of your portfolio, because you're not used to seeing $1 million or 2 million or 3 million or 5 million say amount. Your mind is not used to that kind of.
Why do you think so?
Because that's how you're. Do you know what paradigm means? Like paradigm shift.
No,
like,
tell me. Yeah, let's get into that a little bit.
So paradigm is something your mind is set into a certain path. Just like an aeroplane, it fails its destination. It fails its way to the destination. Right, a rocket, it does not succeed in single go. It deviates from its path and then it makes a correction. Deviates from its path, makes a correction. Deviates from its path and then makes a correction, and it goes to the direction, to the destination.
Yeah.
So for a trader, if you are used to, let's say for an example, you're earning $100,000 as a salesman, you are able to sell 100K a year, but then within 3 months, somehow you were able to sell 800K. Now you have nine months, right? Most of the salesmen will only sell 200K because that's their limit. It cannot go beyond that. That's the paradigm. You have to change your self-image because your mind is programmed that way. You cannot keep more than what you think you deserve. And that's one of the biggest problem, because most of the people, they do not know, but they don't think they deserve success or like so much wealth or so much of money. You have to have a container
Yeah,
within
so you
you.
have to kind of like store it a little bit as time goes on when you're ready to do that. That's actually a very good way of actually looking at it, because you're right. If people just fall into money, they don't make the right decisions, or they don't know what to do with it, to be very honest. Because, or they'll just probably, it's kind of like, you reminded me a clip from Shaquille O'Neal. When he first became a basketball player at the age of 18, he signed a contract for like, I don't know, something like $10, $20 million, whatever it was. And he spent it all right away. You remember, he talks about this every time. And now he's like one of the smartest, like he knows how to manage his money. And he said like by the time like he went to go buy something, he didn't have any money. He had an expensive car, a big house. He had bought all these things. And then he found himself to be broke after signing a lucrative, like, basketball like contract. And I think like if anybody hasn't seen that clip, go and YouTube it. He literally talks about it, and it's not only in trading; it's like a life aspect as well, right? Because like when people get a lot of money, what do they want to do? Throw it out, go party, drink, travel, spend it on things that don't hold any value. You buy a Lamborghini, you buy like, do crazy stuff, and then one hits the fan,
Gone.
it's gone. You can't maintain that.
Yeah, it happens on all aspect of life. If you take a student, like if his average score is 80%, and for somehow he gets 90% a semester, it's gonna go back to the 80% the next semester, because that's his average.
Yeah.
That's how his self-image is built.
And it takes a person to like self-accountable person to also like understand that, like, what is your ability, right?
Yep.
What is your average? I would say. I mean, can you work hard and get better? Yeah, absolutely you can. That's why you can do those things. But I feel like if you do understand your limitations, then you kind of like you make your decisions based off of it. Because anything extra is just like, okay, I won in this particular aspect, but I'm gonna put it aside. But that's actually a really good point. With the paradigm, shift that you said.
Going back to that story though, he made like 500-600K, and then within next 3 or 4 months he lost it all. He took 200,000-300,000K loan out of his house equity and then put it back to the stock market. He lost it all. That happened within a year. Everything happened within a year.
Damn, that's crazy. He took a loan, the home equity loan
Because
against
now you're addicted, because that dopamine, that adrenaline rush that you get while trading, you're earning or losing every second, right? And you're not used to that kind of thrill. Your body wants that thrill. It's in the memory now, right? And you have to feed that memory because you want to feel good. Otherwise, you are going to be guilty. Nobody wants to be guilty.
That hits the fucking nail right in the head. $500,000-$600,000. You take a home equity loan, you put it in, and then you lose not only the $500,000-$600,000, but also the $200,000 equity, and now he's down $200,000. And like the loan, oh my god, that would put me to depression, dude. Like I don't know, but is he doing okay though?
I have not talked to him since like a couple of years, but he was fine. He's
Okay.
up and down.
Okay. No, I mean like, but that's a crazy lesson to learn in life. That's a crazy lesson to learn.
Most of the people, what I have seen is like what he said, right? Like take it back, right? At least like it's for you.
Yeah.
Pay yourself, right? You work hard. You work darn hard. Get a 9-to-5 job. Like they work so hard to earn that money for their living, right? For their future, right? And make their make their life more comfortable, right?
Yeah.
So what they do in trading is entirely different. Like, let's say, for example, if a person is earning $500 a day, let's say, right, from his 9-to-5 job, breaking that $100,000 to $500 a day, and you win $500, right? Or your profit is already 500 on that trade, right? You don't exit out. You still want to go for that 1,000, 1,500. It's market is gonna go up. Market is gonna go up.
You sell yourself that idea. Yeah.
But they don't realize that $500 that you did for a day and got out from the market, right? That is a free money for you. That is for your long-term wealth, right? You can spend that to like somewhere. Go to a restaurant with your family, right?
Yeah.
You earned it, right? They don't realize that, and most of the people, they fail it over here.
Do you feel like it is more predominant in the South Asian community than you see in like the trading community? Or do you feel like it's because you know how we grew up, right? Like I know my mom and my dad, and they're always about like let's store, like like you buy something, we have to keep it, grow, and then you just keep buying, just keeping it, and then their life has gone by, and they don't really get a chance to enjoy it, right? Do you feel like you see it more within the South Asian community, or is this something that's universal?
I think it's universal because humans from inside are all same. We are a mixture of like few emotions. That's all right. And storing fear, greed, emotions, everybody has it. So I think this is universal rather than
thing.
certain
Okay,
community.
okay.
It feels within the community because we hang out with like certain group.
Okay,
That's
I
what-
guess so. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I have some friends, but I've never heard. Like, I'm going back to your story about the $200,000. I mean, that's some ballsy stuff, man. I mean, like, god damn, I have to give it to him. I mean, took a risk, but sheesh. But the reason why I said that is because he had that $600,000, right? And being South Asian, seeing my South Asian family or friends, Indian and Pakistani, Punjabi, and all that stuff, right? They're like, oh no, it'll grow up. We'll just keep growing it because they have the idea in their heads like the $600,000 would then become $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. It'll just keep growing, right? Because that's the whole like the understanding they don't have. Because if they tend to use that, they tend to use a South Asian thought process. That's what I thought, and that's just my understanding of how they probably thought. I mean, I can be completely wrong, but I think but it goes back to one thing: addiction, right? The dopamine hit that you said,
Yep.
right? The dopamine hit is it's insane.
Because once you have already seen that level of success at first, and you have lost it all, your brain will make you think that I can make it all back because it has already seen that success, right? It's somewhere in the memory, and that's how they will try to put more money to get everything back and more. I think.
Do you guys remember that movie, GameStop movie? What was the name of the movie?
Oh yeah. GameStop. Do you remember GameStop?
I know the GameStop AMC thing that happened,
Yeah.
which I have in one of my questions over here. Actually,
man, I forgot.
There's a
that
movie about it?
There's a movie about it.
I've never heard about it.
It's in
I'm
Netflix.
gonna say something crazy to you guys because we are talking about South Asian community and everything, right? So on that movie, right, everybody is holding on one thing, right? So it's all about trend, right? Right. So everything is hyped up with the trend, basically,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So GameStop was trend, basically, right? It was nothing but a trend, right? So everybody jumped on it, right? So
That is just that GameStop thing, AMC thing was just insane. It was insane. To me, it was the most insane thing. I went to college for finance, and they didn't teach me that shit. I'll tell you that for sure. That thing was like, I thought like my degree at that point in time was worthless. Like I literally thought my finance degree was worthless. Like what was happening in GameStop? I'm like, what is going on here? But no, go ahead, tell me that story.
there are 4 or 5 characters that are showing their lives and everything, right? So everybody is following on that same guy, and he's saying, hey, hold it, right? Everybody is holding it. So their portfolio is already $1 million, right? But still they are holding it. So one time what happens is there's this girl that goes like quits her job, like and I'm just going to be happy, right? I'm just going to be happy because the money is coming to me, right? Meaning like she's preparing it in advance, that everything is set because my portfolio has a lot of stocks of GameStop that is ripping up like crazy, right? So she has all the money and everything. So she quits her job, buys so many things from credit cards and everything, right? All of a sudden it starts dipping. So when everyone pulled out, right, they cut off their, they took out the money, they took out the profits and everything. She's still holding, right? All of a sudden, everything is gone. It's back to square one. And she's like, man, what the hell happened? And I had millions, I could do it, and all of a sudden it's gone. So this trading, everything shows up on that whole movie. A trend followed with a massive movement that happened. Everybody started following the same thing, right? All of a sudden, someone is holding it, right, for too long. And what happened at the last? She lost it, basically. So
What's the name of the movie again? I have to go watch it.
I forgot the name of the movie, actually.
I'm gonna Google it. Google it, guys. Go watch it.
It's a GameStop something.
It's in Netflix though.
Yeah,
It's on Netflix.
Yeah,
All right,
it's on
Netflix, guys. Go and like search it. Google it.
That's why they say trading is the hardest way to make easiest money.
Yeah, that's such a hardest way to make the easiest money. It's so true. It's insane because like, man, if the conversations I would have conversations with like few guys, right? And I'm like, they'd be like, yo, man, you come to do these option trades, come on, you just gotta make money. You know, like they would say stuff to me and I'm like, oh man, I don't know, man. This seems too good to be true. Because if it's too good to be true, that means there is a point where you need to pull out, right? And after like, you know, shit went down, he's like, oh man, this is not for me, right? This is not for me. This is not what I wanted. And I was like, oh, and then they tell me you were right all along, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, man, listen, I understand the thrill of it. And you're absolutely correct when you say that dopamine level of that feeling of like, damn, I made like $10,000 fucking dollars from this trade, 20,000, or in your friend's case, 500,000-600,000 in 6 months, right? That's like $100,000 a month, right? You don't see, like, you don't even meet people that even do that unless you're a stockbroker on Wall Street and you have the insights and all that stuff, right? Like that level of dopamine or that success, that mindset that you automatically create for yourself is a very hard thing to not fall into. Because when I used to manage one of my stores in AT&T, this is like way back, and I remember WWE, right, had launched their app, right, and WWE was publicly traded, and this dude's like hardcore wrestling fan, okay, hardcore wrestling fan to the core. And he said that, oh, WWE is coming up with an app. There's so many WWE fans. They're going to love it. And everybody else around there were like, oh, this guy is dumb. Who the hell is going to watch wrestling, you know, on the app and go watch? They just go on, like, you know, watch reruns. Who the hell does that for wrestling? It's only fun at that time, right? But those people underestimated, like, what, like, I guess he wasn't smart. He was just happy that an app was coming out, but he was like, you know, there's enough fans to make WWE like pretty profitable because they were doing something right. And he ends up like investing in WWE stocks and it went up, right? It went up and he made money and he was like, oh, you know, he won't bother. Like if I tell you, his name is Will. And he basically said, yeah, man, I mean, you know, it's an app. I mean, like, there's so many WWE fans that want to go back and watch. And he even subscribed to it too, you know. But it goes to show that it's, you know, it's not about the big trades all the time too. It's about the little ones as well, right? Because he saw that the company is big enough to the point where there are millions of fans all over the world. If they have ability to subscribe to this, there's additional money coming in. It's going to make the company money. And he subscribed to it, which so many other people must have subscribed to it. And then the stock price, the stock share went up and he made a decent chunk of change. But the other ones who were criticizing him saying, oh my God, like, what are you know, they became envious. They're like, And then they're like, oh, he thinks he knows how to trade just because he made one good trade, blah, blah, blah. And I've been doing this for a very long time. And then there's a lot of like back and forth. And to me, like I didn't trade at that time. I stopped trading. I was like long terms and all that stuff. And I used to tell them like, listen, man, just because he is successful, you don't have to put him down. He just has a different strategy. You guys are doing something different, right? You guys are doing something, your total ideology of like what you're trying to do is something different. You guys want that title of being a successful trader more than you actually wanted to be successful. That's why I told them. Because sometimes you're not really chasing the money, right? You're chasing that pride that comes with the fact that I'm the one. I'm a really cool guy. You need some financial advice? Come to me because I'm your guy. That's what people chase. And I feel like when they chase that, they lose more.
Yep. True.
I agree.
Avi, you talked about we are a hunter, right?
Hunter-gatherers,
Hunter-gatherers, right? It all comes down to the same thing.
Caveman.
You have the pride, right? I want that pride, right? Like money is not important. The pride is more important for everybody.
Your
right?
ego,
So,
right?
Ego.
Yeah.
That steps in all the time, and basically it's how it is. Like I have seen it as well. Like if you are, if let's say for example we are having a discussion, right? Like not a discussion, but just a conversation and everything. And I think about something and I tell you about the stock, and you trade at the same time, right? So there is a thing within us that, oh, like he's talking about something and I know trading. It should not be like that. It's not like that, right? I can see tomorrow it's gonna go bull, right? The market is gonna go bull and things like that. People do say that, right? And sometimes it's good to listen, right? Always just listen what others are saying and then do the research on your own, right? Like have it handy, at least study, right? See the market, how it's reacting, then go do it, right? Whatever other people have said, just don't follow.
Yeah. Or not get into this you're wrong, I'm right kind of like conversation.
Exactly.
It's always good to listen. Okay, well, he's saying this. Why is he saying this? My key things is whenever like I would talk to people, it's like, okay, why are they saying this, right? What are they actually doing about it, right? And when are they actually looking to pull the trigger? When are they actually looking to do these things? Because there's some people who just talk about it but not do anything, right? There's also people like that. I tend to fall into one of those people. Like I'll talk about it, but I won't do anything because that's not my thing. But I can still give like my opinion, right? And that happens sometimes. And sometimes opinion, you never know. Things sometimes even like people that are not in like trading, when they give opinions because they have a certain array of knowledge, it's sometimes also beneficial because they're not giving you advice in order for you to be unsuccessful, right? Most of the times when people are not, in the trading world, but they're looking at trends and stuff like that, I believe they're giving you an honest opinion about what's going on. And those are things you should also listen to as well. I feel that's what I think. Because at that point in time, at least if you are a smart trader, you listen to it. Okay, why did he actually say that? And then you look into it. Okay, maybe he was wrong in these things, but there are certain signs. And then it kind of like allows you to make certain tweaks to your decision making skills, right? That's what I feel, because I've done that. When I used to do that in the beginning too, I used to like also like listen to other people, but then again, I'm from a time where Scott Trades and E-Trade was there, so every trade was like $9.95 or $7.95. So I didn't have the luxury of just going click 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 and do all that stuff, right? That's my time. It's very different, right? Robinhood changed the game. Robinhood changed the game so much that these traditional traders, that way they think, they had to revamp their game. And I got out a lot earlier too, because I just felt like, no, long term is it gives me mental peace. I don't have to worry about, I'm working, I'm doing my thing, and that's the path that I chose. But those who were trading, my God, my friend, he tells me he used to work for BlackRock, and he used to manage like huge portfolios. And he's like, dude, and you told me, bro, I don't even want to do like this quick money. These young traders, they don't even know. Like you tell me, they don't even know what the fuck they're doing. Blah blah. It's just long term, dude. It's long term. 4 trades a year, quarterly stuff. That's all you need to do, right? That's what you would say. That's him, right? And I get it. I get it. Because he's from a time where you had to pay $9.95 for every trade, right? Right. But that leads me to another question. Since I'm pretty sure since you guys have been gone into trading, what do you think is the biggest difference when, from your guys' own opinion, before Robinhood and after Robinhood? What do you think changed?
I think the simplicity of Robinhood, it brought a lot of traders into the market. Like you could, like before Robinhood, trading was tough. Like you have to open an account, you have to wait for certain days, blah blah blah. There was so many steps, and now with the click of an app, you can download it and open up an account. And buying and selling is so easy, and everybody, like from youngsters to old people, they can easily have access and trade it. So I think that brought a lot of crowd into the market because of Robinhood. It started the game. Now there are multiple apps that are UI friendly, and I think it brought a lot of crowd into the market.
Do you think it changed also the way how trading was done? Like, let's say a Wall Street guy, right, who's been doing trading since the 80s or 70s, and all of a sudden Robinhood's there, and then you bring this influx of people that have no idea what they're doing, right? And when you have like millions of people, at that point in time, even if they're doing, I don't know, if a million people come in and they're each putting $1,000, think about how much money that is, right? That's coming into the market. And that's a big chunk of change. I can also like regulate the market. I can control the market in a certain way.
Yeah.
Right. I'm using a small number, million. I'm talking about like, US has like 350 million people, right? So if you had, let's say, even 20 million people and each person did like $1,000, you're talking about like nearly like, was it 200 million or more than that, I think? Right?
Yep.
You're talking about a lot of money, like, 2 billion, right? So 2 billion has now entered the market, and everybody has a different mindset, right? You're talking about people that have never traded, that have all of these like thought processes in your head, and the money is just going haywire left and right. And then it's causing like the OG traders to be like, what the hell is going on over here? Why is this going up? Now they have to kind of revamp everything, right? So what do you think, I guess, like, what do you think changed with that? Because you said like influx of money, new people coming in, the UI is there, it's easier to trade. But how did you have to manage that?
So like if we are talking about the volume that Robinhood, like what it opened, right? Who benefited? Who benefited? Basically, was the smart money, I would say, right? Why? Because there is a difference between retail and the smart money. Smart money always has a plan. Retail, they have no idea what's going on. The volume that Robinhood brought was, yes, on that billions of volume that came in. There are people that plan ahead, and there are people that have no idea what's going on, and they are jumping on, right? So basically, it's setting up the trap. I would say it's a trap, basically, right? Like if you see any investment firms or anything, right? Like they lose money, but the majority, like for example, Goldman Sachs, right? Like if we see the report, I think it's three months they have a drawdown, and rest 70% is always the winning, right? So if we look at it's always there. Like you can Google it, Goldman Sachs, every 4 or 3 months they lose like crazy, but rest of that 8 months they make a shitload of money, basically, right? So if you don't plan, you're doomed, right? But what it made for a retail trader is like, okay, yeah, hey, you are in the stock market now, right? Like you have put down your money, now manage it on your own, You don't have a plan? Sorry, too bad. Get
So
out.
what do you say for those people that, let's say, want to get in, but they don't know how to plan?
There are many things, right? So like for me, basically volatility plays out perfectly, right? Like if you want to lean on to trading, let's say for example, like, oh, okay, I want to trade, I don't have much time, I want to trade though, start learning a little bit, at least a little bit, right? So know how it works. Right now we are into AI right now, right?
Yeah.
So there are a lot of things that have changed, right? And you can just do chat GPT and it's going to give you a full rundown of what do you actually need, right? So
or where to trade and stuff.
yeah. uh, Basically volatility plays out proper, right? First is you see a candle, the red and the green candle, and that's not just a stock, right? The stock does not mean that. There are so many things that you can lean on to, right? There are moving averages,
The
right? There are volume, right? So, or object range breakout, right? Darvas, right? So there are so many things. So at least learn something, right? Before you jump in, right? You came to do the job, right? You learned everything that for that 9 to 5 job, you work your ass off and studied and graduated and are doing that job. If you are going into trading, at least do something.
Yeah.
Like at least 5 minutes reading, then step in.
You have the foundational skill set to at least learn.
Learn.
Which takes me into that, this when I started seeing these younger guys and they got into trading, right? The influx of Robinhood at that point in time. I saw something where guys like me, where we do risk mitigation, right? We say, okay, how much risk is there? That again goes back to how do you manage your portfolio? Okay, there's this much risk. If there's a 30% chance or 40%, 50% chance based off me for I can lose my money, out of my portfolio, I'm going to invest a certain amount, right? But then you have this YOLO mentality. You live only once mentality, right? And this question that I had, right? And it kind of goes with the whole financial literacy thing. And I want to like dwell into, for both of you guys, right? So the question is, financial literacy can often preach slow and steady growth. But for a generation that's facing record high housing and inflation, because I had to tie it to economy as well, slow and steady might feel like never in this day and age, right? Because the average age to even buy a house has now gone up to 40 when it used to be 25 way back, right? So now you're dealing with a generation that I need to do something because I don't have the opportunity, right? How do you convince someone of this next generation that risk mitigation isn't just the man trying to keep you down or hitting that jackpot, which goes down to like what you guys said. People come in and feel like I can get rich right away. But you have a generation of kids who are not getting the same amount of opportunity as what the boomers got, millennials, like Gen Zs got. They're coming into this humongous amount of debt. Inflation is high, right? The housing price is like insane. How would you address those younger generation? Because the Gen Alphas are coming up, or the or Gen Zs, I would say, right? Oh, is it Gen Z? Yeah, Gen Zs. Yeah, Gen Zs. Yeah,
Right now it's Gen Z.
Gen
right?
Z, yeah, Gen Z.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not that old. I'm not that old. But you know what I'm talking about? So my question to you is like, you have this younger generation. I know we have friends. We might have one or two friends that might do something crazy, right? But overall, our generation are very conservative. The millennials are conservative because we get it from our parents, right? But you have this younger generation. It's not like the world is so much better that they can just like blowing off all that money. They are in debt. They're not getting paid well and all that stuff, right? And then the housing, rent is so expensive. They can't even go. They have to live with their parents. What do you tell those generations of people, like, because they'll try to put everything in one thing, right?
Right. I think I would say not YOLO. I would say YODO. You only die once. You live every day. You
Yeah.
So I would suggest them to start early. Like invest early. Have some sort of amount separate out from your like paycheck or something. maybe you're 16, 17, start saving in chunks, a little bit changes. That adds up within a year or two. And then you can invest that and maybe grow into like larger amount with compound interest. Because a lot of people does not understand the power of compounding. Like they do on paper, like they do understand on paper, but they have not seen it, right? So they're not focused into it. Because a dollar double every day for 30 days, it becomes like more than 100 million, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And like 30 days, right? I mean, a dollar multiplied every day, double every day, within 30 days can bring you a lot of money. I mean, your normal human mind, you cannot perceive that because
it takes a while.
Yeah,
it
takes a
time.
while. Yeah. You have to internalize those feelings for compound interest, I think. And secondly, with this inflation and everything, I think these are temporary, right? I mean, like, how is inflation derived? It's from productivity and debt, long term and short term debt, right? Market moves in cycle. If your productivity goes up, your lending power goes up. When a person lends the money, there is a borrower, right? It's a liability and asset for borrower. It's a liability, for lender. It's a asset, right? And that creates a cycle. And there is this book called Market Cycle by Ray Del Rio, I think. It explains this concept very wisely. I would suggest them to read this because every 7 to 8 years, this happens. Like, it's not the first time that inflation has gone high and then recession has come and then it's going to go down again and then it's boom and bust cycle, right? So I would suggest them to get more educated regarding this field. And I think they will be able to afford housing easily.
You just have to be more smart about it, right? It's not. It's again, like you said, going in all in is not gonna, like, you're just feeding into the man's game at that point of time. Yeah, as long as, because the reason why I had to bring that up is because we also have to kind of like educate the next generation, right? Because it's the basics that kind of like win at the end of the day. And that's the mindset. The basics is the mindset, right? And then understanding everything else. Compounding interest is very important. That's how the banks make money, man. That's how the bank makes money. That's why, your 30-year loan, you get a house for $500,000. That's not a $500,000 house. It turns into $1 million house by the time you're done paying the, with this interest rates nowadays. Jeez.
And at the end of the 30 years, you're not even owning it. You feel like you're owning it, but then you have to pay taxes.
Yeah.
And everything, like $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, right? It's like renting.
Exactly. I mean, I do a lot of like residential, commercial real estate, and I always look at it as a cycle as well. Like, you have to, when the land value goes up, you have to sell. It's not going to keep going up and up, because one of the things I always say is, like, if your land value goes so high, right? Who's there to buy it? Right? Your demographic of buyers just goes from like 50 to 60% down to like 10%. And then you just can't leave it like that. So now, in order to attract that 5 to 10%, right? They want something like, okay, well, what else am I getting with it, right? You know what I mean? Unless, like, you have one person that comes in and says, like, okay, I need a land to do this multi-billion-dollar, like, industry or this company, and I need land. And then you might get lucky. But how many of those people actually come on a daily basis?
Very low.
Very low, right? Very low. And that's why I usually tell a lot of people who's like, oh, they say, I have this many jaga, this much land. Or, I was like, okay, then what are you utilizing it for? Did you build a house on top of it? Did you build like an apartment complex? Did you build like a factory? Are you generating any form of money, cash flow from it? Because it's just an asset that's sitting there. Supposedly, it's worth this much, but can you really sell for that much? Right? It's that a lot of people don't understand that, and I feel like that's also something that people need to be educated about as well.
It's going to be liability at that point.
Exactly, it becomes a liability because you're still paying taxes on it. you have to maintain. I don't know if there's any, especially over here, you have to cut the grass.
Yep.
You have to make sure you're paying your taxes on it. You know,
Yep.
you can't just like let the grass grow. You have to pay companies to come out there, cut it every other week in the summertime, and then maintain it. So yeah, I mean, like that takes me to my next point for you guys. Just a little bit of question and answer on for you guys. Financial literacy, right? So a lot of times people will say financial literacy sometimes is used as a scapegoat to blame individuals for systemic economic issues. How do you distinguish between a lack of knowledge and a lack of opportunity?
Especially here in US, like I would not say there is lack of opportunity, because there is opportunity everywhere. You can literally make money out of thin air, right? I mean, like even in this studio, there is wood, there is Starbucks, there is this mic. Somebody made it. They made money out of like thin air, right? I mean, woods from the tree.
Mm-hmm.
There is opportunity everywhere. If you gotta have an eye to see that opportunity, in my opinion. And I would say it's financial illiteracy, because where are the money that you have earned? It was your money, right? You gave it all away to the mortgage, maybe to Starbucks, maybe to the car, maybe.
Guys attacking my
That was your money to keep it to yourself.
No.
Save it, like maybe 30%, 40%, like you said earlier, right? You saved 30% and invested somewhere. It was your money. Why give it away?
Mm.
If you had an education, you would not blow 100%. Or there is a trend of credit these days, right? But that means like you're borrowing money against like what you don't have. You're borrowing money against your future self,
Yeah.
because I would have to pay in future, right? So I would say it's because of financial illiteracy. You wanna show like who you are not, like to be acceptable in society or something like that.
The social media trend.
Yeah. And yeah, I think that's why it's financial illiteracy.
It's a really interesting thing you said that, because I'll go back to my first episode, and I was having this conversation with how this generation, the newer generation, is using Klarna and all of these different companies, and US is number one.
Mhm.
And it's gone to like billions of dollars worth of like money that's been used from Klarna, and this is to go for like concerts, these movie shows, buying stuff, and these guys don't have money. It's just that borrowing money has become so easy, right? That they're putting themselves, your future selves, in so much debt that even if you do get a well-paying job, you're kind of screwed. You know what I mean? So
It's blocking the financial market, like your financial future. It's blocking basically, right? So we have been talking about Gen Zs, right? Most of the time, and like I have it at my home as well, right? Like banjos and all, right? So basically, I think this happened recently as well, right? Me and him, we were talking. He knows I trade and all, right? So last time he was doing photography, right? Then he moved to something else, right? And he called me one time and like, can you please tell mom that to give me $10,000? It's sitting right on the bank. I'm like, why? I'm like, to trade. And I'm like, why do you need $10,000 to trade? And he was like, no. I'm putting it on some kind of XYZ stock, right? Let's say Nike, right? So I need that money. Like I know it's gonna go up, and I want to put down those money, right? So their thinking is fast growth.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they are thinking, because they made the money already in the stock market, and they want to put more money on it, right? So good decision, but how do you know that it's going to go up? It might go down as well, and you are putting the money that is sitting there, and you want to put it back onto the stock again. So what have you gained? What have you read, or have you read anything, right? Like, why do you think this stock is going to go up, right? And you're putting in for a long term. Completely get it, but where is your study, right? So they don't get it, right? They think that money is simple. But if I want to talk with the Gen Zs, what I'm going to do is, okay, yeah, you can get the money, but how about let's learn it, right? And how about instead of that $10,000, how about we start with $1,500 or $1,000 and grow that money to 10,000? That's going to happen. And you know that happened as well because look, your portfolio grew up, right? So he started with $100 and it grew up. So that means that way the shift that we had back in the days, like, oh, dad, give me the money. How about tight slap, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so that's not there. But I'm not saying like, how about a tight slap? But what I'm saying is like, lean more onto how you manage the risk and how you can grow that money at the same
Or
time.
teach
right?
them like how to manage
Exactly.
the portfolio.
In my neighborhood, right, I see a young kids, right? Few of them, right? They have been wandering around, right? Some are mowing the lawn at the same time, right? Some are like cleaning up the garbage. Well-off families, completely get it. But why are they doing it? Because they are learning something, right? Learning to adapt into the life that they will be having in future at the same time, right? And they are learning how to manage your money. So that same money that they're gonna go and invest on something, right? So they are multiplying that, right? Rather than going into Klarma and
Yeah,
taking
borrowing
the
money. Yeah,
concert tickets and all.
that's that's a really good point that you put there because like you said, good family, but they're still doing the basic
Yeah.
stuff. That hustle mentality, right? You go out there, but you're learning something because when you work hard and earn that money, you value the hard-earned money so much to the point you will automatically want to decide or learn before you actually invest that money, as opposed to money that's just given to you, right? Right. That's how it is.
That's how it is, and that's how we learned it as well, right? Like most of the people, like I used to spend. I'll be honest with you, right? Like I used to be like them, basically. My teenage, I want this, I want that, I want everything, right? So, well, you keep on feeding, and dad used to say, wait till you grow up.
Yeah.
Wait till you grow up, right? And start earning your own money. The time I came here, everything doomed. You have to earn by yourself.
Yeah.
You need to manage on your own. So that basically changed, right? So
Yeah, it's so interesting because we always go back to what our families say, right? And it from a financial perspective, at least the base understanding of it is so true. It's so true, especially when you've met people who've earned money the hard way. But then you also meet people who earn money the easy way. This is not getting too much into that, but there are people that earn money the easy way too. And I feel like sometimes that also kind of overshadows a lot of the principal values that kids need to understand, right? And I meet a lot of guys. I've met a lot of people that, or heard about a lot of people that just like, at one point was in a certain aspect of life, and now they are like living life better than some NBA players. You know what I mean? And but there are also some smart ones, who like, okay, you know what? This is lucky. It's a springboard effect. And then they go ahead and do businesses and they do all the other stuff and they understand all that stuff, right? But very few of those people. But what you're saying about like the hard work aspect of it, understanding the core values that you get from doing the things you don't normally want to do. Like, who wants to take the trash out? Who wants to cut the grass? Right? Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to do that. But you are gaining something out of it. And I feel like that is something like our like community doesn't really push, especially when they come over here. I don't know, for some reason. I've always had like, I remember in New York, I always had like white kids. They would come out and they'd be like, can I shovel your driveway for like $20-$30 out in the cold? And I'll just be like, all right, go for it. But those same kids will eventually, like, when I see them growing up, because I stayed there from 2001 to 2016, and I've seen them grow because, like, they're like young kids, and then next thing you know, they have like a nice car, they have like they have their things together in order. They didn't go and buy brand new. They went and bought something used. They made a good deal. They found a good thing, and they're way better off than like most of the kids. I was like, okay, that kid used to mow my lawn and like shovel my driveway for snow, and it's really interesting. It's really interesting. But then I also saw other kids too, got money. My mom, they gave me $150, $200, and they would blow all that money right away. Right, blow all that money. I had no idea what to do with it, how to go about doing it. It's just like, okay, where do I get the next, like, dopamine from, or where do I get the next money from to do whatever it is, right? But yeah, but so what do you think you guys can really like give back to the community? So I know, like, you guys talk about, I know you guys are doing a lot of trading and stuff like that, right? I know you guys want to like get into like how you want to like advise the community, and I know I feel like people who watch this can also reach out to you, right? So I want to get a little bit into that. So what are you guys doing, like, personally? That is, what are you guys doing personally, and then how do you think you want to like kind of help the community kind of grow and learn? I guess let's get into that a little bit.
I guess our company it's our money plant, right? IOMP. And we want to create a group of like-minded people, like all the traders, and teach how trading is done in a professional way, not reckless trading or reckless gambling. Trading is a way of a gambling, but you could be the casino if it's done right. And that's what we wanted to show to the community, teaching them like basic fundamentals of human mind, how it works, because that's the core thing that as a trader you need it, because money is never the goal. Money is nice, profit is the goal, but who you become while chasing that goal is the main wealth. Finance freedom, once you get that excellence, money will follow. If you chase money, money will go away. Like
You'll keep chasing it.
Yeah, you keep chasing it, right? So if you focus on yourself, it's gonna come. And one of the thing that we are proud of ourselves is like we are trying to do it in a way that's systematic, algorithmic based, and with minimal amount. Like anybody could start. It has a probability edge, and math is on our side. And that's, if math is on our side, over the long run of trend, you're going to be profitable. And we wanna show that to the community, like everybody who's trading, failing, or maybe people are successful as well, right? But then they do not have a system. Once you have a system and follow the path of the system, it's very easy. It's not easy, but you at least get a idea like how everything works. So we want to focus on those kind of aspects, I guess.
Okay. It seems more like a mental homeo approach,
Yeah.
right? Like a more of a, you gotta meditate your way into this kind of like into this kind of success or profit, right? You're not really focusing on like, hey, I'm gonna make a lot of money. More like, hey, listen, guys, this is how I want you guys to start thinking.
Yeah, it's not sexy. It's
not
boring.
sexy. It's boring, yeah. I mean, but boring is what?
Boring is good.
Boring is good in the long run, right? I mean, girls end up they always have fun with the bad boys, but at the end of the day, they always choose like that boring dude, right? Because they have everything, they have a system in place. Right? I'm not trying to be sick. I'm just making funny stuff. But clip it though.
For trading, right? Like, yeah, it has to be boring. The reason why it has to be boring, and there are certain times like we have people in our community as well that trade with us, right? And they sometimes tell us like we are not doing anything. Basically, we are just like holding, right, the trade for quite a while, and they're like, hey, are we trading anything today? Are we trading tomorrow? Are you trading tomorrow? no, we are not. We are just holding. There is some time, like, it should be boring. The reason why is whenever, if you hold, if you know your strategies properly, right, it makes it easy for the money to come to you rather than you going to the money. It's better to have the money come to you, right? So the structure that we have developed within IYMP and within the community itself is like, you are a noob, let's say, for example, right? You come in, you get into our community, learn our basis, basically step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. On the step 5, you already know how the system is working. At the same time, most of the trader, they follow, like you said, right? Like, they follow trend, they follow the news, they follow this, that, right? Everything, if it is combined to one single platform, makes it much more easy, right? It should be easy. Trading should be easy, right? And boring, basically, right? So capital management, risk management, basically, right? Your structure, strategies, basically. There are multiple strategies that we have built on, and those are the strategies that IYMP plays, and the success rate, right, that people know about it as well, right? At the same time, the volatilities, right? And most of it all, everything combines down to the major aspect, which is the algorithmic trading, right? The whole entire system of IYMP, that's massive, basically. So, I mean, this is just an education things, but like, it's
Because
not.
I'm sure people don't even know that there are algorithms and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And I think before you go into algorithm aspect, it's to educate them as to the basic stuff, and then, like you said, the mental stuff, like the emotional stuff.
Market is way more than just the trend, right? There is a news, there is a this. No, market has so many aspects, right? Market has a lot of things that shifts. Why is it shifting? How is it shifting? What caused it to be shift, right? What caused the market to shift, right? Those are the things you can find it only on data. And that whole thing, a set of rules, right? So that goes to the algorithmic trading, right? So algorithm gives that, the system gives.
Do you feel like data plays a huge part into like how your decision making is made? Like you being a trader and you being a trader, like how, if you had to put a percentage to, you know, your trading, I guess, trading decisions, right? How much does the data play into the algorithm in that aspect that helps you make that decision? I know data is very important, but the data you only have is mostly historical, right? You can't really predict the future and what the future will happen because there'll be anomalies and all that stuff. But how much do you think the data that you collect or you see or you kind of gather, what percentage does it make towards your next decision when you do a trade and all that stuff?
I mean, not based on the percentage, but at least you would know when to plan it, basically, right? The data will play it like that. So I would say, like, I mean, it's basically, I lost all the money, most of the money, right, back in like doing the penny and
penny stocks.
RTY and things like that, right? So small caps and but I shifted from the trend, I shifted to the algorithm, right? And the volatilities, playing with those levels, right? Playing with those levels. So how are we getting the levels, right? How will we get that levels, right? We get that levels from the database, right? So for me personally, it does actually. Those would be more of my pathway to see what may happen next, rather than, oh, it's going to happen next. Rather than that, I'm planning. Data helps me with the plan.
So for you, it's kind of like helps you kind of structure your next move.
Yeah.
What about for you?
Data is everything in trading, in my opinion. Like in terms of technicalities, I mean, there is mental aspect, as I mentioned earlier, but in terms of technical, data is everything. That's the only thing you have in a chart, right? I mean, Other than that, what do you have?
Yeah, that's true. Feelings.
So yeah, feelings. That's in your head. But technical wise, I think data is everything. And trading is like probabilistic statistics, right? It's very random, uncertain. We have a data point at certain point which is lagging, like it does not define the future. It's from the history, right? It's lagging, and uh, how can you make this uncertainty, random events into your favor is by playing the probability many times. For an example, let's say you have a coin that is biased to the head side. I flip a coin. Which side would you pick?
It's going to be heads. Yeah. Yeah.
It let's say tails come. What would you pick?
The second time.
I'll still pick heads.
Okay, tails come. What are you gonna pick?
I mean, if you tell me the probability is higher for heads, I would probably still pick heads.
That's the key, right? I mean, but we do not know the sequence. When is the heads gonna come? Let's say if the probability is like 51% out of 100 flips, you're gonna have 51
51 heads.
heads, right?
Yeah.
So even if you have like 49 tails in a row, you're still gonna pick heads, right?
Yeah.
That's easy. But when your money is in the line,
Oh,
it's
you
not
don't-
easy.
You
It's
don't
not
look
easy.
at it that way. Absolutely not. Yeah, it's true.
Because your cognitive mind is shut. Because your hormones like adrenaline rush, it's gonna. There's this thing like I mentioned the hunter gatherers because that's how your mind works. Because we have animal within us, like our instinct. Those are animal instinct. Like it's made for fight or flight, and those things triggers this kind of emotion, and your brain shuts. You're all of a sudden your cognitive mind is not working, and you're freeze. You don't know what to do,
Mm.
and that's how many traders lose their money as well.
So in your company, right? Like the ones that you guys started or the community that you're building, what are the first few steps that you, let's say if I came in and I have no idea, zero idea, right? What would be the first couple of things that you would teach me?
First, I would say mental preparation. That's pre joining. You have to be prepared. You have to be ready. But then because of this algo, since I'm more focused on emotion, right? Algorithm takes a lot of emotion away because now you have something that is working, and then you know your bias is towards you. Now you know that the heads is biased. Even if you're wrong for like 6 or 7 times, you have bias on your side. So for me personally, that gives me mental ease so that I can put another amount of money even if I lose a couple of trades.
Okay, so my question was, if I came to you and said,
Okay.
"Hey, man, so what would you teach me? What is the first couple of things you do for me?" Let's say I have no idea, right? And I said, "All right, man, you know what? Let me join your community. Like, show me what's cool, right? I have this much money. I want to get rich really quick." I mean, let's role play a little bit, right? I want to make money. I want to be really rich. Let me. What's your community about? Tell me something. Like that's if I say that, then what is? How would you like talk to me in that way?
I would ask a lot of questions first, like who are you? What do you do? What's your goal? Like why are you into trading? And why do you want to earn so much in short amount of time? And then I will try to gather his perception about like what he want to do, why he wants money. Because people want money for maybe freedom, for family, for mortgage. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
There could be different reasons, right? And most of the time, people are confused as well. They think they need this much of money, but then they end up like trying for so much little than they can get. For an example, they would be aiming for $100 million, which they don't need.
Yeah,
Like
100 million. It's funny.
for an example,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I mean, but then they settle down for like way less than what they could have earned.
Okay.
So defining how much is enough is the key. First thing I would ask them, how much is enough, and that's gonna take a homework. It's not just saying this much. You have to plan your life for next 10 years, maybe 15 years. This much, this much, this much. You play games with your mind. Now you're building a script. You're the director, right? Now you're gonna write a script of your life, and then once you have that script, then you are the actor. So I'm gonna ask a lot of questions. It's gonna be like,
So you just don't you don't think I'll just come in and be like, all right, coming through right away. You want to make sure that the person that's going to be representing your community or the community of trading is the right.
because we wanna give something, right? If somebody comes to us, they're coming with an expectation, right? And if we have something that you want, you have to be ready to receive that as well. And if that, let's say, if that happens, he's like good listener, good student. We're gonna teach them algo. What is algo? How it works? Blah blah blah. Those kind of stuff.
What I would say is, if you are coming for $100 million, let's say for example, right, you want to earn $100 million. Yes, you can. Where you are right now, let's try to switch that or swap it with the trading. If you want to learn, right, there is a goal of $100 million for sure. Go ahead, right? Learn to reach that level, but first, as a starter, what you need to lean on to is swapping what you have right now with that, right? So flipping what you have. Let's say, for example, if you are earning $100,000, let's say, for example, right? So how about your goal is to lean on and swap that in order to make that $100 million. The moment you are financially free, that is called financial freedom, actually. You not doing anything and trading, that's your goal? Okay, fine. Go ahead. Go for that $100 million. But first thing first, you need to swap it what you have. 9 to 5 first, and then $100 million. That's not going to happen. I'm going to be honest with you, right? You want a good change, a steady growth? Yeah, definitely, right? But shooting down for a star when you are at the bottom, that's not going to happen, right? So what we will teach, yes, that $100 million, that is definitely possible. If you follow your risk management, that is what I'm going to tell them, right? Risk management, right? Know the system, right? Why are we utilizing that system from past 10 years? Right? There is a reason why. Otherwise, we would be going somewhere else, like other traders, or I would be quitting everything, and I'm like, I'm not going to trade anything, right? So why am I still stuck over here? The reason being are those system strategies that we have, right? So focus on those strategies, right? Have a clear mindset on those strategies, and then shoot down for that 100 million now, right? So what I'm giving, or we are giving, is a stair, right? You need to climb it. We're not going to climb it for you, right? You're going to get the step by step by step by step, and at the top there is $100 million. Go chase it. So basically what we are doing is providing you a foundation of risk management. Secondly, providing you strategies that works for that $100 million. Then go and do it by your own, right? Swap it, basically. So a pathway, basically an education. So you want to come in as a trader, right? But learn something so that it would be beneficial for you in the longer run, right? There are multiple charts that you can see, right? There are so many. If you go into Instagram, there are a lot of traders out there, right? Oh, I'm going to make you rich. I'm going to make you this. I'm going to make you that. I'm going to make you this, right? Go into their platform. They're not going to teach you anything, right? Buy and sell is not learning, right? What is learning is educating yourself, making that foundation. Regardless, it doesn't have to be our strategies, right? Just at least make a strategy for yourself. That is what we want. Basically, make yourself, right?
So you guys are more focused on like trying to educate the community more, which is good, because I feel like there are a lot of people that need that basic education. Because our community members are mostly into like the 9 to 5s. You know, we get a job, we look at our 401k, and that's about it. They don't really dwell into the whole like trading aspect of it, right? Or let alone know how to like manage their 401k. Just, oh, okay, 6%, whatever. Right? They don't know they can add more money. They don't know, like, hey, listen, if I add more money, if I pay less tax, I'm actually getting more money at the end of the day, right? They don't know these things, right? And I feel like, I think have you guys heard of NYP? No? It's Nepali Young Professionals. So I had them, I don't know if you watched the episode. I had Abhilash and Anuka. And here, Anuka is also into the financial aspect side of things. And I also had Mr. Sazan Gautam Dai come from there. And he's a philanthropist. He is investment venture capitalist. Sorry,
Momo VC.
Yeah, Momo
right?
VC. Yeah. And it taught me a lot of different things, because once you kind of meet, once I met Abhilash and Anuka, what they're doing, they're talking about networking. They're talking about networking, constantly networking. They build a really good foundation over here in NYP. And I feel like both of you guys, if you guys join NYP too, I think you will have access to a lot more like career oriented students or the younger generation that might need a little bit of what you may call it, understanding or education on how to go about doing it. I mean, yeah, some of them are doing like great jobs there. Some of them I know work for Meta, some of them work for Google, and you have these really, really like smart kids, but they're good at what they're doing. But if you go out there and have like intellectual conversation with them, that's good too. And I think you guys would connect with Abhilash and Anuka right away. I think you follow them on their Instagram. They have a WhatsApp group chat. You go in, you can talk to them. You can even set up. They like to do workshops. I think that doing a workshop at the Monday they do like that stuff. I think Sazan Gautam did a workshop with them because he wants to focus on young entrepreneurs and young companies, and this is from all over the world. And the episode where I got a chance to talk with him, I learned a lot about his thought process. I mean, when you're at that high level, the CEO level, like the way they communicate, the way they think, completely different. You know what I mean? Like complete. It's not the lower. It's not this ground stuff. They're talking about like how they want to reach out. Where can they pull the resources from? What is their particular strategy? Right? They're not going to tell you, oh, I don't want to talk about it. Like you in the whole entire like podcast is like, I don't want to talk about that, because obviously, but the reason why he said that is because he also understands the value of competitive advantage. And he said it there. Why would I give you money if I can replicate it for something cheaper? If I can do the same thing that you're doing, and I feel like that would be like a really good spot for you guys also like connect and communicate as well. I'm definitely like reach out to them. NYP, they have the WhatsApp group too, and I when they do have events, go out there, you can meet them. And I think Abhilash, like he likes listening to the podcast. That's what he says. Right? See if you do, I'm going to test you. But I think overall, I think it would be a great workshop session. Actually, financial literacy, I think, would be the best possible way to go about doing it. And I think that would be very, very productive for the younger generation, the next generation, the younger generation that's coming, because there might be people within that community or that group that might know just 10% and is only acting on that 10% while they might be missing out on 90%, right? And how do we make our community stronger? We make our community stronger, making sure everybody within the community is financially stable, financially literate, and they're growing wealth. Kind of like the Indian community. Like you look at the Patels, right? My friend, he's Patel. He married a Nepali girl, and the way he thinks, the way he talks, I look at their entire community. They are very, very like they're very interconnected. I don't know if you've seen them, man. They're very interconnected, and they're like, oh, that's probably my cousin from like 10 like whatever steps away. Like they joke about that kind of stuff, but just the way how they've kind of like structured that community together, I think it had to start somewhere.
Yeah, I think I don't know his name. Momo VC. Like he was talking about something like so that same thing, right? Like the Indian community, they have that like helping each other out and making sure like everything is good and all, right? So at the same time, like this venture capital and helping the young generations come up with some ideas and like helping them out in order to boost up the community, right? that was a very good aspect that he talked about, right? Like most of it that is missing within the community is that actually, right? Helping
Yes.
out.
Yeah.
So yeah, like definitely that episode was really good.
Yeah. I mean, no, he has a lot of knowledge.
Yeah.
You know, you can tell. And not many people, like, why, like, think about it, right? Why are even you guys going out of your way to want to help or want to bring, like, community members, right? Why? It's not because you guys want to make millions of dollars. It's like, hey, listen, if I'm doing something, I want my community to do something as well, learn something or gain something or grow something, right? Is everybody allowed to make money? Yeah, absolutely. No one does it for free. You know, America doesn't give you stuff for free, right? Even if you want free healthcare, whatever, you still got to pay taxes, right?
Yep.
That's just how it is. That's how the system is created, right? But not many people are willing to put their time and their money and their, most importantly, time into helping someone, or even the thought of wanting to help someone. It takes a lot, right? Because like you're trying to teach someone, instead of giving someone a fish to eat, you're teaching them how to fish. So they can eat for the rest of their lives, right? They can fish and do that. That is literally what I think we are lacking, majority in a company, unless you're teaching them how to fish the wrong way. We want to do that. We want to teach you guys how to fish the right way. But ultimately, I think that is the most important thing. And I really respect like Sazandai, like, you know, him going there, he's really invested into, I want to like help, I want to invest. And obviously, you know, if they're venture capitalists, they'll help your company grow. They'll might make it big, but they'll, you know, their return is like, we own part of it, right? You're investing in your company, right?
Exactly.
Kind of like Shark Tank,
Yeah.
right? Kind of like Shark Tank.
I mean, free does not mean like you have to give out. So here's the thing, like what I have seen is like whenever there is a free tag on something, let's say, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't value it.
Yeah.
You don't value at all. Like that thing is just free.
That's human nature though.
That's human nature. Exactly.
It's like, you know, I like supercars, right? And I had a GTR, right? But I'm a JDM guy, right? You know, I didn't like the Lambos, I didn't like the Ferraris. Even if you spend so much money on them, they would break down a lot more than like the Nissan GTR did. But people was like, no, you've made it only after you've got that Lambo.
Yeah.
Or that Bentley. Or that, you know, like, I don't understand the, you know, for me, it's kind of, and, you know, it sucked that mine got stolen. It was like, it got stolen. Like, basically, there was a guy who reached out this hack. So our GTR community over here, like 10 of them got stolen. This was back in 2023. Like, so 8 of them got stolen. And one of them got stolen. It was a 2,400 horsepower, right from 183. You know where that hangouts like
Hangout Dallas?
that parking lot. Mine got stolen from a garage from Addison. I went there for lunch with my cousin, and next thing you know, I just see the glass on the floor, and I found it on Facebook Marketplace.
That's
Did you
crazy.
used to guys go out to the Frisco area like
No,
every Wednesday?
No.
night?
I was I know one of the guys, Kushal. He's really into supercars, but I wasn't crazy like that. For me, it was more like I liked a particular train of cars. I still have a 1992 Acura NSX. Doesn't have power steering. Just because I as a kid wanted to own one of those, and I did. And I technically even won the newer GTR. I won the older ones, the R34.
Oh,
That never came to the United States. And you know, and once it got legal, oh my God, it was like the old one was like $450,000, $400,000. I'm not. I'll just go with a new one. I bought that used for $80,000, you know, and I ended up making money from that too after it got stolen, because they started like not making too many of them, and the insurance company ended up giving me $125,000 for it. I was like, all right, you know, and but this is where the financial part of it came, right? For me, it was like I've bought it, I drove it, I kind of had my fix, right? I don't need to show anybody. And then what I ended up doing, 0 down on a Tesla Model Y.
that's good.
And then Elon had to screw it up. The valuation just like, ooh. But no, I mean, you guys had some, a little tidbit story. You guys had some really, really educational stuff. Like, you know, it goes to show that you guys have You guys have lived that life. You guys have literally like failed. You're not afraid to talk about what you guys have lost because it gives more credibility to the point like, hey, if you can come out and openly say, I lost a lot of money, but I figured out how to like do it the right way going forward because I learned from my mistakes. I think that in itself goes a long way. And I really feel like both of you, if you guys connect, in NYP, I think it'll really, really help the community overall. I think there will be, it really help you guys. Maybe you guys might come across people that have different algorithms. Oh, have you thought of it doing it this way? Have you thought of it doing that way? It just opens this intellectual conversation. And I feel like this community overall needs intellectual conversations because it's so much been, guided by like party stuff and unnecessary stuff, and I don't even like partake in those type of conversations because A, I don't understand it. 2, I just feel like it's a waste of time. And 3, it's not really benefiting anybody, right? It's a revolving door of nonsense.
Basically, it's been there, done that.
Been there, done that. Yeah, exactly. It's been there, done that. And I feel like you guys coming here today, like it's a breath of fresh air because I after doing this podcast, I feel like I'm getting to meet like individuals like you who are willing to come out. I mean, just to let you know, like they reached out to me and they wanted to put it out there, and that in itself is a huge step. So, hey man, want to thank you guys. So, before I know we have like 9 minutes, so I want to give you guys the floor. Like, what are the things? Closing statements. You can take your time. What is it that you are striving for from all this? And obviously this is not the last time you guys are going to come here. You guys are going to come here. I mean, like, I think Mike missed out the most, and he was really excited to want to come because I feel like he could have learned a lot more because he's doing a lot of that trading stuff, and he's really interested in that, the data aspect of it. And I feel like that would have been a good he would have some interesting questions for it because he's actually doing it on a daily basis, right? And a couple of times when I go there, he's on the computer. He's got this like live YouTube live thing. He's listening to someone, and he's like, you know what I mean, like the Discord and all that stuff.
Yep.
I'm like, what are you doing? Like he's like, no, like we're just trading together. I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like trading together?
So there is, it's actually good actually. So for example, I'm working, he's working at the same time, right? So like we are. Whenever we are trading, we are always on the phone, right? Like always on the phone.
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah. Because how we see it is like, okay, like I might be seeing something, right? And he might be seeing something as well, right? Then we will start having a conversation like, hey, I'm seeing this. Looks like there is a point or the levels that it would be hitting. It might go up now, right? Let's check the volatility. How do we see, right? So a lot of aspects plays in, right? So basically doing the hard work always pays off, right? So it always pays off.
And
right?
plus you have a multiple set of eyes too.
Yeah. So being on live, like him being live, like maybe that's his mentality as well. Like, okay, I might be missing out something and he's going to educate me.
Do you feel like that's something that you guys incorporate when you're like, let's say with your group, with your community together, you're live and you're like talking and you're sharing that back and forth?
It does matter actually. It does matter. So most of the time what we do is like market hours and come on, right? Because you might be missing something out, right? Or how we plan is not the day on the market actually. The day before the market is where we plan. So 5 o'clock we have our Asia session open, right? So we have all our chart breakdowns right there, right? So now what we tell our traders is, hey, there you go. These are all the breakdowns. Stop loss over here, right? This is you hit a certain level, right? There is a possibility of moving up, right? So watch these as your radars every single day. And we flow this every single day basically. And it makes it so much easy. So now you going tomorrow in the market, right? All you have to do is look at the chart. Now see how the market is flowing, right? So when are you entering? Right on that level. It's already there. Is the market reacting like that, right? So you are just checking the pattern if the market is reacting like that. So there is one video also. I would highly recommend that video. The chicken video. Remember what was that guy's name?
Oh yeah, yeah. So there was this strategy basically. He would pick two red and green candles, and chicken will come, and he's gonna pick red. He's gonna short the market. If chicken is gonna pick the green, he's gonna buy calls or something like that. And then he had another pair of stickers that says plus 10, plus 20, plus 30, plus 40. And if chicken picks 10 points, he's gonna trade. That's his target. So 10 points is his target, and if chicken picks minus 10, that's his stop loss. And basically that works.
What?
That's the key. Why? Because he has a plan. Now he has a target. He has a stop loss.
Oh.
He has if he's gonna short or go long in the market. If he lost it, he's gonna lose 10 points. If he wins, he's gonna win a lot. And basically, that's the trick of the trading. If you follow the same thing over and over and over again, eventually it will work, because it's the logic of that biased coin theory.
Basically, he already knows what he's about to plan for tomorrow, right? It's not the chicken who's planning.
Is
right?
the chicken giving him the goals?
Yep.
Yeah,
And he's
He-
going to plan according to
Yep.
that.
exactly.
He
So
has
he
a
has
plan.
3 sets. Let's say, for example, London session, Asia session, or Sydney session, or New York session, right? So he already has a plan, right? There is a buy and sell where on which session I'm gonna hit that, right? So what chicken is basically picking, but all the hard work he has already planned and structured it for tomorrow. So basically, it's not the chicken. Don't be a chicken.
Yeah, don't be a chicken.
Don't be a
Yeah,
chicken.
Okay. That's a great metaphor. But the fact that chicken's picking that's funny.
Yeah,
That's really funny.
it was a joke. Don't take it
Yeah,
seriously.
yeah, no.
But you gotta plan it. Right?
Yeah. It's not like what it was, a camel that picked the World Cup winner. But no, guys. I mean, you guys have any closing statements? Anything that you wanna say before we?
I would say just like regardless wherever you are trading, right? Like at least make a structure that works for you and make it consistent. That structure should work every single time, and you need to follow the same structure every time. That's the only way you're gonna develop yourself into a pro trader, right? So that's all I have actually.
Yeah, for me, I would say don't YOLO, because you live every day. You only die once. So invest and trade in that way so that you can trade every day, not just once.
Yeah. No,
Patience pays.
absolutely. I mean, patience does pay. At the end of the day, and I think the one thing that all of you guys who are listening or got this part of this episode is education, right? Consistency, education, and
Risk management.
but also your mindset and your emotions. I think those are the key players, the base things that you guys will need to develop in order to become good traders or decent traders, or you just become like something that you can do to earn extra money on the side. Remember, you're not going to be rich overnight. You're not going to be, I don't know, Leonardo DiCaprio from that movie, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to be him. I mean, not many people are like that. But then again, he went to jail, so think about it, right?
Trade wisely.
Trade wisely. But ultimately, I really appreciate you guys coming here. It was a fun episode. I think we just touched the surface into just the finance aspect of it. We'll highly want you guys to connect with the NYP and stuff. I think that journey is still there, and you guys have a lot to offer. Especially the algorithms. I think conversation wise and everything, and helping the community grow and educating the community. Right? It could be anybody that just wants to do something and doesn't know how to do it. Right?
Exactly.
Because a lot of times when people try to trade, they're always by themselves.
Yep.
And I feel like if you're building a community where you guys are on the phone or online together, and you're talking and you're educating, you're teaching people, I think that step goes a long way. Helping goes a long way. And
One more thing, I want to give them one book. it's something that was passed on basically, right? Like him when I started as well, right? He passed on to me as well. So Mark Douglas, Trading in the Zone. You want a probabilistic mindset? Go read that.
That should be your Gita.
Gita. Yeah, Bhagavad Gita basically.
Bhagavad Gita. No, I mean that's great. That's great. That is actually they also have a book club in NYP.
NYP.
So you guys can recommend these kind of books for anybody interested in trading. And like, like I said, have the conversation. Starts with this only happened after you reached out to me, right?
Yeah,
Right?
definitely.
Like this podcast is a product of a simple conversation.
Yeah.
Like, hi, hello, like, this is what it is. And having people like who wants to kind of educate the community and wants to go there. I'm not chasing the whole clout and trying to be, I don't want to be popular, but but in an organic way.
Yeah.
And that those are the little building blocks of life. I guess that's how we want to grow. And with that being said, we're at the end of this episode. Hopefully it was educational. Hopefully it kind of opened up your minds, made you think, gave you a different perspective of what trading is actually like. Boring is better, right? Ultimately at the end of the day, and having a plan, a man with a plan, that's how it is. And educating yourself and having self-control. I think those are the things you should take away from this. I mean, everybody will take a lot of different things, but that's what I took away, right? And I really want to say I appreciate all you guys. Remember to comment, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell because we are on our pathway to 1,000 subscribers for this podcast, and we can do more and more. And we appreciate, and we want to bring more people into this podcast so we can have, good conversations and, grow at the end of the day, grow our community. With that being said, thank you very much for today's episode.